Hey everyone, so here we are with Alvin Lapp, um, drummer who's going to be playing with us. And I've known Alvin for quite some time, and it's a real honor to have him playing with us. So I just wanted to introduce him to you guys. And Alvin, maybe I'll just start by asking you, can you give us, you have a unique style. Who would your influences be?
Um, I'll cut right to the chase. That's how I am. Growing up as a child, I would listen to a lot of blues, more of the rocking blues, but also older blues. And I really picked up early on, even before I became a drummer, on the playing styles and the sound of John Bonham. Um, not just so much for his heaviness or loudness, but his feel was a big influence on me. Of course, being a Canadian drummer, I was also influenced by Neil Peart early on. But to be quite honest with you, I kind of outgrew his playing style and sound before I even started playing drums myself. So yeah, John Bonham, big influence on me early on. Also in high school when I started playing drums, people like Tony Williams, Sammy Lay, who's a big blues drummer, early blues drummer, Alvin Jones, Philly Joe Jones, Chick Webb, all the, not so much Buddy Rich. I've always found him a little too busy, although he's amazing. So influences are wide, but my biggest one would be John Bonham.
You mentioned, as we were talking before, that you worked a little bit with Buddy Guy, which people might know. Maybe you can tell us just a little bit about what you learned from that. What was he like as a person working with them, and how would you describe the experience?
How I met him is that I went to California very young, and I started, as everyone does, going out to jams, going out to the local bars. But the difference in LA and Santa Barbara and San Diego and all the districts there is that when you go to a jam there, Dave Weckl might be there. Vinnie Colaiuta goes to them. They go and they sit and they watch people, and also agents go. And at the time I was working as a waiter at a place called Hoagie Carmichael's, and I'd only been there for 6-7 months, and I went to a jam, and I met an agent called B.B. Green, who also now manages Marcus Miller and many others. And she hooked me up originally with Jackson Brown, and I did 6 months with him. Upon doing a show in Atascadero, California, his agent was there, and he was having health issues with his drummer. I met him, and there was really no audition. It was more they went by how I was playing. I was already very heavily influenced by Bonham, and also, believe it or not, a lot of punk drummers. I'm still a huge fan of that harder edge. So when I play, it's like I really dig in, and I don't leave much left. And meeting him and getting to know him, he expects exactly the same thing from everyone that's on stage with him as he expects from himself, and it is there's nothing left of you when you're done playing a show. And if you give anything less than that, you will not be in his band, and that's how it works. He taught me how to play. He taught me really how to feel a swing, how to hit the drums rather than play the drums. I remember early on, he would yell, hit them damn things, hit them, because I would always be so concerned about, doing the perfect fill, or, making sure that my timing was right. He was more concerned about my heart and soul being into it. That's what I learned from him.
What would you say? As players, we go through different times in our lives where we're practicing more than others, and that alone time, that inner drive that we carry with us, might go through times where, our life is surrounded with things that kind of drowns that out a little bit. But at this stage in your career, what are you working on musically?
Right now, I am learning to there's a term actually that King Oliver told Louis Armstrong when he first, basically, back in the day, there wasn't not so much schooling. You were an apprentice. You would play with somebody who already knew how to do it, and that's how you learn. That art has almost been lost. It doesn't really. It's not in existence anymore. What I am spending time on is exactly what I probably needed to, is learning to let the melody be my friend, be my guide. Rather than concerning myself with numbers, time signatures, notes, and letters. I've been on a quest probably for the past 2 years of just learning to understand what it means to play for a song, and not worry about how great my next fill's gonna be. I no longer plan solos. I used to plan them. I used to write them out. I'd have I know what song I would have a solo, and I would plan it out. I'm at a point now where I don't think I need to. I don't do it anymore. I just play whatever I feel, whatever comes out. And that has we spend, a lot of us artists, we're lucky to get to a point where we're able to play what we hear, but a lot of us stop there. We don't get to the next part, which is learning to condense what we hear and only play a third of that. And then that ends up being, So I'm working on that, and I probably will be for the rest of my life.
And the questions that I ask all of my band members, if you put your iPod on shuffle right now, what are the first 5 songs that pop up?
Okay. Just give me a second. A band called The Dead Weather, which is one of Jack White's projects. The song is called Die by the Drop. Pretty heavy group, interesting. Next is, I haven't actually listened to this in a while. A band called Deerhoof. They're out of San Francisco. Very experimental band, interesting. The song's called Behold a Marvel. And if I shuffle again, it's the one that's taking its time. Come on. There we go. A band called Jars of Clay, which I'm sure you're aware of. Their most recent album called The Shelter, and the song that came up was We Will Follow. And what's that? Was that number 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. The next one is a band called Keane, which is a Scottish band, or Britain. Nothing in My Way, off the Under the Iron Sea album. And last is Weezer's new album, which I actually love.
Awesome.
Hurley, song called Trainwrecks.
Nice. So I'm gonna throw some drummers' names at you, and I want you to tell us the first word that pops into your mind.
Okay.
Philly Joe Jones.
Swing.
Brian Blade.
All-encompassing.
Ringo Starr.
Musician.
Charlie Watts.
Rock.
Neil Peart.
Progressive.
Antonio Sanchez.
Amazing.
Trilok Gurtu.
Interesting.
Terry Bozzio.
Experimental.
Keith Moon.
Rock and roll.
Alan, thanks so much.
Thank you.